So what is up, everyone? Welcome back to our lawn. Today we are putting down the first fertilizer application of this season because we got a bunch of rain coming and I would like to get out in front of that and get some nutrients down into the soil. And what I'm applying has to do with what my soil test says. So this first clip I was planning on having a part of my soil test video, but you can check that out in the link up in the corner. You can go watch and see what I've done for the soil test. So this first application is a 10-10-10. I did it at about a ½ pound per 1,000 square feet. Comes out to an application cost of about $1.64 per 1,000 square feet. So you can figure out how much this is going to cost you based on the size of your yard. For me, I like it as a cheap and cheerful multi-purpose fertilizer if you're short on nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, which I am, and you can learn about if you go check out that soil test video. But with that, we'll get on with the video here. So I'm gonna go get to doing that now. We'll do a little bit of spreading, and then at some point here, for you it'll just be the next clip, but at some point here we'll talk about what my soil test has told me, what I've done to try to address it, and what sort of progress we've made. And we'll use that to try to drive a little bit of a conversation on how you can take your soil test results and develop a plan based on that information. So let's get to it. Well, I didn't record, but just imagine that I poured the fertilizer in here. But also, this is why I love this spreader. 80 pounds of fertilizer in there, we're good to go. And so now we're going to transition into finally getting a cut on what will be the fairway section. I talk about it a little bit later, but I just wanted to give a little bit of context before we get into this time lapse, which is going to show you everything that I've done to this point. We're not seeding, we're just fertilizing and killing weeds and mowing at a ½ inch, and we're going to see what this bent grass and other whatever else is back there does over the course of a season. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to our lawn, and right now it is time to give you an update on the practice facility. So it's looking pretty darn nice. So you have the putting green down below me here, and then out and around all the way back. That's all shortcut back down there. And so we're going to maintain that all at a ½ inch. We're not going to seed anything. We're just going to let the bent grass hopefully creep and fill in. And then right now what I'm doing is I am manually aerating and then backfilling the holes with sand. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to change the soil composition within the ground here on the putting green, because I didn't dig it out and put in root zone mix. So it's all the existing clay and very putty-like soil that I had. So what I'm trying to do is get some sand down into the ground. So I've poked the holes, spread the sand across it. It's dried out for a day now, so it'll fall into the holes nicely, and now we sweep. And there we go. Progress update. We got that done. Now I did start from the bottom of the green and work my way up this way. So beyond the sand is already completed, and then just did that. And then at some point at a later date, we'll do this top section and then just kind of leave it alone. I'm planning on really holding off on top dresses for one. Having a greens mower with a roller on the back really helps with the rolliness and helps kind of keep it relatively smooth. And I want to let this grass really go nuts through this spring to try to get it to fill all the way in. Because we can take a look up close. It's not quite as full as it looks, and then we'll take a little walk around the fairway area as well. Talk about that, and then we'll move forward on to the next video. So you can see in through here, there's some bare areas, but it's doing fairly well. Close up on the sanded section, that'll all settle down once some rain falls, or maybe we'll water just that little bit in. And then down here is where it's the thinnest. You can do kind of a little pan and you can see that dirt's all exposed there, but it is a lot fuller than it was a couple weeks ago. And that's just a function of a creeping grass type, right? The more you cut it, the more it's going to start to spread sideways rather than growing up. So now let's take a look at the fairway area. So up here at the top, this had a head start as this was already started last year. And really the only issues are the high spots because this has never been top dressed. So you can see areas where it's scalping. And then once we get past here, this is the boundary line for management. And you can see this is then just basically real mode weeds back here. And there is some grass that's in there that hopefully when we kill the weeds off and just continue to pump this with nutrients, fertilizer, and keep cutting it at a ½ inch, it's going to spread. So you can see there's one actually pretty dense section of bent grass here that we'll try to get to come in. And I don't know if you can hear it. It's always really wet down here. And then up this side here is going to be fairway. And again, in reference, we're hitting up to the green from this. So this is all intended to be an area to hit from. It's downhill up to the green. And here again, this area is actually all doing fairly well also, except for the undulation and where the mower's scalping. And then we complete the chipping area loop up here to again what was managed turf section up here that's working its way back and looking halfway decent. So all of that in the fringe all the way around will eventually be top dressed. Weeds will be killed, and we're going to keep that at a ½ inch for a fairway. And then the putting green, the mows have been at a ¼ inch lately. And then the plan is we're going to continue to take it down from there. Try to shoot for about 5-30 seconds or a little bit more than that, somewhere around 0.15 or 0.2. And really get a putting green roll. And so just a couple updates. I know I promised kind of how to on putting greens coming up, but I want to wait until the weather's nicer. It's not very nice. I don't like having a hat on. I want to wait for the sun to be shining. Hopefully it fills in a little bit more and we can talk about what you need to do and what you can expect if you're going to start a putting green project like this. But like I keep saying, it's not as hard as you might think. You just need a couple pieces of equipment you need to find yourself. And from there, it's just a little bit of work here and there. I mean, I was out here for about a ½ hour. Sweeping in and doing this and then filming the video and everything that entailed. So about a ½ hour today, but most days it's 5 minutes to come out here, sweep off the worm castings and mow. And you too can have something like this if it's what you want. Having the fairway in that is a little bit of additional effort, but just the putting green itself, absolutely something you can do in your backyard. So that's the update for what this is looking like right now. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get more information on how to do this or anything else I'm doing here in my yard. Like the video if you liked it, and we'll see you next time.